We need to talk about April's story. April's story is season 2, episode 2 of Accused. Accused, it comes on Fox and then it streams on Hulu. Oh my God. I felt so bad for this mama. But she wasn't just a normal mama. She was an autism mama and she was burned out and pushed to the edge. But I want to just recap April's story today. And I want to go over some lingering questions that I had after watching this episode. For instance, did April deserve the punishment that she got at the end of this episode? And also, is there anything that her husband could have done to prevent this from happening? Just prevent her from being so burnt out? But before we get into things, I realize that you could be on any channel in the world right now, but you're right here with me, and I really appreciate that. So before we get into things, be sure to like this video and also subscribe to my channel if you do like watching TV show reviews and also movie reviews. We only have 3 main characters in this story. We have April, who is played by Taylor Schilling from Orange is the New Black. We have Jake, her husband, who is played by Danny Pino, that starred in Cold Case and also SVU. And lastly, we have Tyler, played by Justin Chambers. You know him from Grey's Anatomy, obviously. But small, intimate cast and a very emotional show. Now we're going to get into the recap. This show throws us straight into the chaos of April's life. April, she's a nurse, she's a wife, and most importantly, she's an autism mom. And she's running on fumes and she's hanging on by a thread. And when we meet her in this episode, she's mid-crisis. She's shoving laundry into the dryer and with one hand, in the other hand, she's on the phone trying to find a new doctor for her son, right? And meanwhile, her husband is doing his self-care and bicycling, getting his morning exercise in, right? And she's packing lunch. She's scrambling because she has a 40-minute commute and also she has to drop her son off before that commute, right? So Wyatt, their 6-year-old son, we find out that he has a lot of struggles. He has frequent outbursts at school. She gets called, the mom gets called a lot to pick him up early from school because he has a lot of behavioral issues. But April, she has him in different therapies. She's paying to send him to a private school. She's trying her best. And again, this is just a woman that's running on fumes. So she goes out to the car. She's about to put Wyatt in the car and he kicks a soccer ball and he knocks over her morning coffee. Oh my God. So she's a little bit frustrated, but they get in the car. She proceeds to dropping him off to his private school. Once she drops him off to the school, she has a conversation. Yet more chaos to her life, right? A mom of Wyatt's friend comes to the car and says, hey, like, I don't think Wyatt and my son should hang out anymore because last time they hung out, Wyatt hit my son. I just found out. So I think they need to take a break. So again, this is just more chaos, more frustration. We see a storm brewing, okay? We see April is at her tipping point. Like, how much can one woman take, right? So nonetheless, April drives off from her son's school after she drops him off and she reaches instinctively for her morning coffee. About to drink her coffee, only to remember, oh my God, I don't have any coffee. So she decides to stop at a small coffee shop and get her morning brew. She goes inside, but when she comes out with her coffee, it's a dark blue BMW parked so close next to her car that she could barely get into her car. So she's squeezing and she's trying to get inside of her car and she just taps the BMW gently. No big deal. But the owner of the BMW, Justin, he comes over and he's irate. He's like, you just hit my car. And she's like, first, she was trying to be a little bit snappy with him, but then she de-escalated the situation. Well, she tried to de-escalate the situation really quickly. Like, listen, sir, I am very sorry. I have to go to work. I am running late. Can you please move your car, right? She's being kind. She's being, like any normal one of us would do. Like, I'm just trying to go, But he proceeds to say that he wants to call the cops and that she's not going anywhere until they exchange insurance information so she could pay to the damage to his car. Mind you, it's no damage to his car. Like, he is just like a male Karen, right? So April decides, she just gets in her car and she drives off. Like, I don't have time for this. Like, I have to go, right? So she's driving off about her day. She's just a little bit flustered because she's running late. So she gets a call from her son Wyatt's school, and the principal says to her, you need to come pick up Wyatt. He had another outburst today and he flipped over a desk. And not only do you need to pick him up, but we need to have a conference. We need to have a discussion about his future here at this school. So, I mean, just to add insult to injury, this lady is just going through things left, right? So she proceeds to call her husband Jake, like, Jake, can you go pick him up? He had another issue at school. And Jake is like, I can't go get him. I have a meeting I have to run to. I have to work too. So they get into like a little mini argument on the phone. But then Jake agrees to go get Wyatt early from school. But then April notices in her rearview mirror that the dark blue BMW is following her. And she tells her husband, like, oh my God, honey, she tells him the situation at the coffee shop and how this guy is stalking her now. Like, it's a road rage incident at this point. So her husband is like, honey, hang up and call the cops, right? So April hangs up and she calls the cops, and her battery ends up going dead. But she was able to tell the cops, like, where she was and that a BMW was following her in a road rage incident, right? So April decides to pull over to a gas station to purchase a charger because she needs a charger, and she's scared. Like, this maniac is following behind her. So she hops out the car. She goes in the gas station, like, can I use your phone? I need to call the cops. A crazy man is following me. She did end up buying a charger, but she doesn't see Justin at first at all behind her. So she gets in her car and she thinks she's just about to whip off, like, go to work now. Like, oh my God, maybe this is behind me. Justin comes out of nowhere. He's screaming at her to get out the car. And then she was just saying, like, I gotta go, I got a kid, I gotta do all of this. She's screaming back at him. But then he made the mistake of calling her a bad mom. He was like, you're a bad mom, you're a crazy bitch. He proceeds to say all of that. And mind you, my girl, she is on edge, right? So then he pulls off, right? But she is like, oh no, he didn't. So then she makes a horrible mistake and she decides to engage with him, and she decides to follow him down the road. So she's behind him. She's angry. She's driving fast behind him. And this goes on, like, during the show, we see them engaging with each other for at least 10 minutes on the show. So she's driving behind him, going crazy, trying to get close to him, and then she bumps his car. Like, she physically rear ends his car, like, oh my God. And then she comes to her senses, like, oh my God, I shouldn't have did that. And then somehow, because they're on a one-lane road, BMW, Justin, he pulls up beside her, but then a truck is coming head on. So she has to swerve to go back into that lane. And then she ends up hitting the BMW extremely hard. It flips over. And then we see that Justin is very hurt. And the car is actually in danger of exploding, right? So April, mind you, she has her car charger by now, and she's calling the cops like, oh my God, I'm in an accident, this man, I'm trying to help this guy. She's just explaining the situation exactly how it happened. Meanwhile, she's a nurse by trade. So she's talking to him. She's trying to get him out of the situation, but he's unconscious at first. So she's trying to drag him out the car. She's trying to save his life. But then this maniac, he comes to, and he starts attacking her. He's literally attacking a person that's trying to save his life. So she's backing up. She grabs like a pipe or something that was on the road, and she's like swinging at him, right? And she's backing up. And he's coming towards her, trying to hit her. Mind you, they're still on this one-lane road. So she's like a little bit behind him, trying to run, and he's right there. And then, boom, he gets hit by a truck on the road, and he dies. So now the scene cuts, and we see April and her family outside of the courtroom, right? We see April, she's walking to meet her husband that's with the son Wyatt, and the husband snaps on Wyatt because he's misbehaving. He's just a little kid, plus he has behavior issues, and it's hard for him to sit still. So he's misbehaving, and the husband just snapped on him. So April asked her mom that was there, Wyatt's grandma, to take Wyatt for just a little walk so she could talk to her husband in private. And the husband divulges to her, like, listen, I'm upset that this even happened. This didn't just happen to you. This happened to all of us. And then he says something very powerful. He was like, I feel so horrible because I let you carry all of this all on your own for so long. All of the therapies, all of the issues with school, all of the back and forth having to get Wyatt early from school. I let you carry this all on your own. I put the burden on you. So the husband is coming to his senses that all these years, like, his wife has been burnt out, and she's been bearing the cross, right? And it's like April right then at that point, she got like a light bulb moment, like something, she got an idea. And she tells the grandma, like, hey, you know what? Take Wyatt for longer. Take him and go get some ice cream. I don't want him in the courtroom. But mind you, April's lawyer really wants Wyatt, her son, in the courtroom to show that she's, she's a great mother, a loving mother, and she needs to be there for her son that has special needs, right? But she's like, take him. I don't even want him in the courtroom, right? So they go back in court and the judge reads off her charges. She's being charged with felony vehicular assault and also reckless driving. So it's time for her to say her spiel, and she gives a very powerful statement. She states that, she is not a perfect mom, but she is a loving mother to a son that has challenges that her and her husband could have never prepared for. They never knew that their life would be this hard. And she apologized to the victim's wife and son that were there on the other side of the courtroom. And she proceeds to tell the judge,
I have been so tired for so long. I didn't realize I was drowning.
And she's not making excuses. She's just pleading her case and asking for leniency, right? So after her very powerful statement, the judge gives her 3 years in jail, but with good behavior, she could get out in 1 year, and she gets like a $10,000 fine, right? But then she says goodbye to her husband, and she tells her husband, like, you got this, man. You could do this, man. You're going to be good without me, because husband looks terrified, like, oh my God, like, how am I going to raise this? How am I going to raise him? I don't know how to do all the things that my wife does. But it was just such a sad moment. Like, I literally cried watching this episode, right? But nonetheless, we see her go off and they part ways, right? But after this episode, I had some questions, like, did she deserve 3 years? I mean, she should not have engaged with Justin. She should not have, right? Like, cause she went from victim to villain really quickly. Like, she snapped, right? So she should not have followed him. But technically, she was not the one who caused him to get hit by a truck. She had already called the cops. She was trying to help save his life, and this man was attacking her, and he mistakenly got hit by a truck, right? So that was not her fault. But I guess just to get 3 years, I guess that's pretty fair though, right? Because if they were accusing her of, second degree murder or something like that, she would have been facing a lot more time. So I guess that the sentence was fair. And also, I just had some questions. After me and my husband, we watched this episode together. And right afterwards, we were like, the husband should have helped out the wife a little bit more, and not excusing April's behavior at all. April was so wrong to just snap and follow that guy and engage in him. You should never engage with a road rage driver. I think that's something that we all know, but I do think that she was going through so much turmoil that she just snapped, But again, back to what me and my husband were saying after watching this episode was like, she was going through too much. And that 40-minute commute was just too much for her. Like, I think the husband he was very well-meaning, definitely not dissing him. He was very well-meaning. He had good intentions. He probably thought he was in the trenches with her, but he was not. She took on everything on her own, right? And I just think if he would have been like a little bit more present and a little bit more adamant about her taking care of herself and taking it easy and, calming down a little bit, I don't think she would have been running on E like that. And I don't think any of this would have happened, But nonetheless, guys, if you have not watched Accused on Fox, go on over there and watch it. It's streaming on Hulu. And this show, just to give my review of Accused, I would rate this show a 9 over 10. It's damn near perfect. And let me tell you what's also perfect about this entire series. The DEI is on point. They cover episodes like April's story, where we see a mom dealing with her special needs child. We also see another episode where a family is dealing with their blind newborn baby. We see stories from an Indian reservation. We see Black families. We see white families. We see Chinese families. Like, the DEI is on point, and they're very intentional with that. So I definitely rate this show a 9 over 10. Very good anthology series. Definitely recommend you go check it out. So I'll probably be doing a few more stories from Accused. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. And again, like this video. This is a newer channel right here. Help your girl out. Like the video. Let the YouTube algorithm know that I'm doing a good job, okay? Nonetheless, if you made it this far, I love you. And I'll see you on the next video. Peace.